back here at the field house. Wisconsin wins the first set 25-18 as Stanford's block wasn't really big. Let's break down Wisconsin's 25 points, 19 kills they had. Stanford only picked up 1 block, 3 cardinal hitting errors. So there's 22, and then 3 service aces, and Stanford had none. No service errors from either side right now. And while the Badgers have 3 service aces, it very well could be 6 or 7. Stanford's really struggled digging the serve right now of the Badgers. Stanford lost the first set in yesterday's game, 27-25. They responded well, winning 25-20 in the second of yesterday's game. We'll see how Stanford plays to start the second set. The field house is electric here in Madison, Wisconsin, as the Badgers are trying to put the second Big Ten school through, and Stanford's trying to put the first Pac-12 school through. Big rivalry between the two conferences, as 6 of the final 8 teams that were remaining going in today were from those two conferences. Back to action, hence Gray. Fitzmaurice gets the kill to start off the second set. If Stanford wants to win this game, we always talk about the upperclassmen, but it's going to start with the freshmen. Stanford had the top recruiting class, and they have some of the best freshmen we've seen in a while in Plummer and Fitzmaurice up front. Adriana Fitzmaurice has struggled at times hitting in this game. Off the block, Fitzmaurice digs. Gray sets for Plummer. Off the block, saved. Carlini saves it for Gillis. Stanford blocks, but it goes out of bounds, and the Badgers pick up their first point. Tough break right there for Stanford as the block was in place. John, got good position on Gillis. And Wisconsin hitting .436 right now. Bates back to serve. McKenna, Gray, back outside for Plummer, finds the back line. Point to the Cardinal as Bates let it go on the back line. I thought it may sail, but she was able to find it. Jenna Gray back to serve. Teams have switched sides here in the second, with the Badgers now in front of us here. We're on the opposite side from the benches, behind the ladder referee in the second row. Gray with a good serve down here. Haggerty. Carlini, the slide from Nelson. Dump shot. Picked up. McKenna's going to set on the outside for Plummer. Rips it down. Overpass. Lutz off the block. Bates. Haggerty gets a hand on it. They're able to save it, but it goes out of bounds. Stanford up by 2. Now it's 3-1. Lutz with her 6th kill of the game, leading Stanford. Right now, the 2 upperclassmen, Lutz and Voniak, 10 kills, only 1 error between the 2 of them. Gray back to serve, far left corner. Puts a good one down here, Bates. Carlini, the slide from Nelson, gets the kill on the outside there. Carlini's going to go back to serve. It's 3-2, Stanford up by 1. Here in the second. For Stanford, they got to just keep pounding. Carlini back to serve from the near right corner. Just gets it over. Plummer. Gray for Lutz. Roll shot. Finds the court on the outside. Moretta Lutz, have yourself a game. 7 kills already. Stanford's block has been pretty quiet. So if they can keep pounding offensively and the block picks up in the set, I like their chances. Plummer back to serve. Just gets it off over the tape. Carlini's going to slide out for Nelson. Hens digs it. Gray's going to set on the outside for Voniak, who just checks in. She gets the kill as Haggerty can't dig. Stanford up by 3. It's 5-2. Here come the Card. It's getting loud. The fans disrupted Ohio State yesterday, and it caused the Buckeyes to fall in 5. Gray or Plummer back to serve. It's a good one. Carlini's going to set. Up the middle goes Kriskova, dug out. Overpass, play at the net. And getting the kill, Kriskova back up the middle. 5-3 now. Back to serve from the near left corner goes Dodd. Sends it long, service error. Card back up by 3. Once again, you're listening to KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. If you're just tuning in, Wisconsin takes the first set 25-18. Stanford up 6-3 here in the second. Hence back to serve. It's a good one. Carlini's going to set on the outside for Kryshkova off the block. Plummer unable to get to it. Back to a 2-point game, 6-4. Bates is going to sub out of the game. Williams comes in. Kryshkova with Haggerty and Williams up front. Carlini and Nelson's going back to serve. Hence, Gray. Fitzmaurice slams it up the middle for the Cardinal. If you can hear the crowd right now, they're very quiet as their team is down. Ohio State was able to take the second set and the third yesterday from the Badgers. Humphreys back to serve. Bates for Carlini on the outside to Kryshkova. Humphreys unable to dig it as she kind of paused and double clutched on her dive dig attempt. And going back to serve now, Amber McDonald. From the near right corner she goes. Plummer with a bad dig. Gray's going to set near side for Vonyak off the block. Carlini saves it. Bates will set for Haggerty near side. Hence able to dig cleanly. Gray's going to set on the outside for Vonyak. Dug out by the Badgers. Carlini's going to set for Williams. Stanford pushes it over. Able to save it though. Comes near side. And Haggerty can't control it. Point to the Cardinal as Haggerty came up close with Williams. And I think the two both thought the other one was going to take it. And they kind of work it out now. It's 8-5. Holland McKenna in the game to serve. From the far middle part of the court, it's a good one. Carlini's going to set near side for Haggerty. Dug out by McKenna. Great dump shot. Get a hand on it, though. And Carlini pushes it over, but out of bounds. Point to Stanford. Crazy play right there. It's 9-5. Stanford trying to pull away. Badger fans getting loud here at the Fieldhouse. McKenna back to serve. Far right corner. Dodge. Carlini. Haggerty rips it down the line for the Badgers. They get the side out. It's now 9-6. Molly Haggerty going back to serve. As we mentioned, this is a very even matchup as both teams have star freshmen Haggerty and Plummer, and both teams have great setting and big middle blockers. Haggerty's going to go back to serve near middle part of the court. From a long ways back, sends a good one down here. Hence, Gray on the outside for Plummer. Stuffed on the outside as Carlini and Williams combine for the block. Stanford's got to be a little nervous now, as this is very reminiscent of how Wisconsin was down yesterday. Haggerty goes back to serve, just gets it over. Hence, Gray near side for Fitzmaurice, and she rifles it down on the outside. 10-7, Stanford up 3. In between the second and the third set, a 10-minute break, and we'll do a recap of the first two sets as well as other action going on in the volleyball tournament. Fitzmaurice back to serve, just gets it over. Carlini struggles. Service ace from Adriana Fitzmaurice. Stanford up 4 now. They got to just keep pounding. In the Super Bowl last year between the Carolina Panthers and the Denver Broncos, the Panthers' motto was keep pounding. For Stanford, it's the same motto here today. They got to keep their foot on the gas pedal and keep pounding. Fitzmaurice with a good one down. Haggerty, Carlini, Gillis, Plummer able to dig it out. Gray's going to set for Ajanic, who just subs in. Bates able to dig. Carlini from the back line goes Haggerty. Fitzmaurice lays out to save it. Gray for Plummer. Rips it down, but hits it. Point to the Badgers off the hitting error. Right now, both teams swinging great. Stanford hitting 327, while the Badgers are hitting 370. Bates back to serve. McKenna with a bad dig. Gray pushes it for Plummer, and she throws it long out of bounds. Badgers within 2. It's 11-9. Stanford trying to quiet the crowd right now. Bates back to serve near left corner. McKenna with a bad dig. Hanson's going to set it on the outside for Plummer. Off the block. able to be dug out. Gray pushes it for Plummer, and they get the kill. That was Humphreys on the outside with the set. Stanford got lucky right there as there were a bunch of players in a small space, and it got really congested on the outside. Stanford back to the tall, small lineup. It's a Joniku with Lutz and Plummer up front. Hence, McKenna and Gray on the back line as Jenna Gray goes back to serve. Far middle part of the court, Bates. Carlini, near side to Gillis. Gets the kill as Lutz's block attempt falls just short. 2-point game, 12-10. It's super close. Stanford just trying to keep that lead up right now. Back to serve, Carlini. Near right corner. McKenna, Gray, up the middle goes Inky, and she gets the kill. As her and Lutz both jumped and ran a stack. And it threw off the defense of the Badgers. Stanford up 3 as Plummer goes back to serve, and Vonyak comes in the game. Stanford big up front right now. Plummer sends a good one down here. Gillis struggles. Carlini's going to slide out with Nelson blocked down. Carlini able to dig. Bates will set for Gillis near side. Plummer able to dig. Gray's going to push on the outside, and Vonyak has to 3-ball it over. Haggerty, Carlini, Gillis gets the point on the outside. Interesting play right there. I thought it may have crept out of bounds, but they're going to say it hit the line. 13-11. Back to serve Dodd. Plummer with a bad dig. Overpass pushed over. Gray able to save it, and hence has to 3-ball it over. Offense set up. Carlini on the outside. Kryshkova mishits it. Point to Stanford. They're back up by 3, I should say. They get a break right there. But wow, oh wow, has this been an offensive showcase. And for Stanford, if they can just get their block into it, I like their chances right now. Hence back to serve, far right corner. Gets a good one down, overpass. Fitzmaurice rockets it down. Overpass, out of bounds. Cardinal up 4, 15-11. Timeout taken. We're going to take our first here on KZSU 90.1 FM. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nikki Sullivan with KZSU Sports. Like what you're hearing and want to ask for more? Have a question about KZSU Sports or a suggestion for improvement? Let us know. You can send an email to sports@kzsu.stanford.edu or contact us via our Facebook page, KZSU Sports. You can also always give us a call at 650-723-9010. So send us an email, let us know via Facebook, or give us a call at 650-723-9010. We always love hearing from you. And now let's get back to the action and go Card!
Back here at the field house, those go Card chants, very small. It's a sold-out arena here at the field house. And as far as the eye can see, it's Wisconsin Badger red. As their team is down here in the second, but they take the first set 25-18. As Stanford looks to even things up at 1-1. Hence goes back to serve. Team's back out on the court. Stanford in their road blacks. Wisconsin, home whites. Back to serve, Hence gets a good one down here. Dodge, Carlini, the slide. Nelson picks up the kill off the timeout. Back and forth, the two teams are going. Nelson's going to go back to serve from the near left corner. The senior middle blocker sends a good one down here. Plummer with an overpass. And Williams is there to smack it down. Back to a 2-point game, 15-13. Nelson sends another good one down. Hence, Gray, near side for Lutz. Unable to find the back line. Wisconsin's pulled within one off some Stanford errors. And John Dunning's going to call a timeout now. And the Badger fans starting to get into it as it's a 1-point game. We're going to keep it here through this timeout as the Badgers have pulled within one. And right now, Stanford hitting .310 overall, 25 kills, only 7 hitting errors. But the Badgers hitting .371, 29 kills to 6 errors. Gillis right now with 8 kills on 1 error. Nelson 7-0. Carlini leads the way with 25 assists in the 5-setter yesterday. She had a season-high 62 assists and was absolutely dominant. Stanford looks to even things up at 1 apiece before going into the third. Stanford has not been swept at all this season, knock on wood here at the announcer's booth, and we hope that they can come back out of this set and tie things up at 1-1 going into the third and kind of steal some momentum from the Badgers. It's a most definite home court advantage here in Madison for Wisconsin. The fans here are all about their sports, and they showed out in numbers here today to support their team. Back out on the court, the teams are Wisconsin's in front of us here at the announcer's booth. In the second set, the teams switch sides after each set. So Stanford will be back in front of us here in the third as Nelson sends over her serve. Plummer with a bad dig. Gray will set for Vonyak way outside. And she mishits another one. Tied game at 15. Stanford beating themselves up right now. Tied game at 15. Nelson back to serve. Lutz able to save it. Vonyak has to 3-ball it over. Dodge. Carlini outside for Krishkova. And the Badgers are up 1. Haley Nelson got on this roll a while ago, and she has not looked back. Serving from the near left corner, Plummer. Gray. Lutz. Roll shot dug out by Dodge. Carlini. Krishkova roll shot. Lutz able to dig. Out of bounds it goes, and the Badgers are on a run right now. 6 straight. And it is erupting here in the field house. We're going to take another break here on KZSU. I'm Jimmy Garcia. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Nikki Sullivan, Sports Director for KZSU. On behalf of our team, I want to personally thank all of you for listening to and supporting KZSU. Broadcasting live sports is an incredible opportunity for us, and we do it for you, the Stanford community. We have to travel all across the country and set up our gear at hostile stadiums, and we work hard so you can follow the teams you love. You can show us some love by donating. Just go to kzsu.stanford.edu and click the donate link at the top of the page. And keep on listening on 90.1 FM in the Bay Area or online at kzsulive.stanford.edu. Thanks for tuning in, and go Stanford!
Back to action here at the Fieldhouse. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Stanford now down 2 as Nelson has been tearing it up from the service line. Stanford was up 15-11. It's 17-15. Stanford is so susceptible to those big point runs, being such a young team. They've really struggled digging the serve right now. And this is very similar to the run that they went on yesterday against Ohio State in the fourth. Plummer lets it go. It's a service ace. Wait, they're going to call it out of bounds. Point to Stanford, as Carlini wants an explanation. They at first whistled it to the Badgers, and there's lots of boos right now here in the field house. 17-16, the Cardinal get away with one, as Plummer nearly let that one go out of inbounds. It was really close to the line, and the boos are loud right now. Humphreys in the game, back to serve. Stanford with 4 freshmen out on the court right now, 4 of their 6. The other 2, the Keefe twins, Michaela out with injury, and Caitlin hasn't seen too much time this season. 17-16, Stanford, with Kelsey Humphreys going back to serve from the far right corner. Opportunity for them to get back into it. Sends a good one down here, Haggerty. Carlini. And Williams gets stuffed by Fitzmaurice. Tied game. The block finally comes through for Stanford. Can they keep it going? Alade on the bench is firing her team up. 17-17. Humphreys, another good one. Carlini outside for Krishkova, and she rips it down on the outside on the cross-court swing. 18-17. Bates now in the game, as McDonald back to serve. Near right corner, Plummer. Great dump shot. Bates gets a hand on it, Haggerty. Bates is going to throw it over. Humphreys. Gray, the slide from Fitzmaurice. And Stanford gets the point off of a net violation. 18-18. It's so nail-biting here at the Fieldhouse. Holland McKenna back to serve. Haven't seen too much Inky Ajanaku here in the second. McKenna sends a good one down here. Haggerty struggles. Carlini sets back for Haggerty, and hence unable to dig. The Badgers back up 1. Gillis comes in the game for Dodge. And Haggerty back to serve now. Way back, she sends it. Hence for Gray on the outside to Fitzmaurice. Dug out by Haggerty. Carlini dumps it. McKenna unable to dig it on the back line. Badgers up by 2. It's 20-18. Carlini with her first kill of the game. Stanford down by 2. Haggerty back to serve. She's trying to pull away right now. Just gets it over. Hence. Gray. Hence able to save it. Gray will push it for Plummer off the block. They get the block. And it's a 3-point game. Stanford has hit poor here in the second. They were up 15-11. They're down 21-18. Haggerty back to serve. Hence, Gray, Fitzmaurice rifles it down. Haggerty digs. Carlini, Gillis near side, blocked down. Fitzmaurice and Gray combine. 21-19. In comes Ajanaku as Stanford tries to close the gap. It's 2. 21-19, they're down. Fitzmaurice back to serve, far right corner. Sends a good one down here, Haggerty. Carlini, Williams, Fitzmaurice digs it. Gray pushes it over, Haggerty saves it. It comes near side for Gillis. Ajanaku blocks her down. Point to the Cardinal. It's up to 1 now. Ajanaku goes up strong. She's single-handedly trying to bring her team back. Timeout taken by the Badgers. It's now 1 point separating the two schools. Coming into the game, Inky Ajanaku was asked how she feels about playing the Badgers, and she was so excited. She had said that she had always wanted to play this team but had never gotten the opportunity. The Stanford Cardinal play a lot of Big Ten, Pac-12 challenge games in the beginning of the season, but Stanford has been yet to score off with Wisconsin. This year, Stanford got to play Minnesota, the number 2 seed in the country, and the number 1 team in the AVCA poll. And Stanford beat the Golden Gophers at home 3-1. Stanford also beat Penn State and Illinois in the Big Ten Pac-12 Challenge out in Boulder, Colorado earlier this season. Stanford did drop a tough 5-setter to the Purdue Boilermakers at home. Stanford has fared very well away from Maples this season. 10-2 true road record and 3-0 neutral. 13-2 away from home. They gotta like their chances right now, but down by 1. How does this team respond? Ajanaku is fired up, trying to get her team back in the game. Stanford with 3 blocks in this set, back to their normal pace, but they need a big one here. Badger fans standing and trying to root their team on to victory. It is wicked here in the arena. Fitzmaurice back to serve. Far right corner gets it going down here. Haggerty, Carlini, Williams mishits it. Oh, but they're going to give her the point as they're going to say she found the line. (22-20), Bates back to serve near left corner. McKenna for Gray, the slide. Ajanaku blocked down. Gillis and Nelson combine. Wisconsin's 2 points away from winning the second set. Bates back to serve again. McKenna struggles. Gray on the outside for Plummer. Bates able to dig out the rifle shot. Carlini for Gillis. Punches it over. McKenna with a good dig. Gray, the slide from Ajanaku, gets it to go the second time around. 23-21. Stanford desperately needs a point here. Jenna Gray back to serve. Stanford back to their true tall-small lineup. Ajanaku, Lutz, and Plummer up front. Hence, Hall McKenna and Jenna Gray back to serve. Far middle part of the court. Haggerty, Carlini, Nelson. Hence able to dig. Gray will set for Plummer. Haggerty digs. Carlini just dumps it over. Play at the net. Joust it over. Bates saves it. Carlini from the back line. Pushed over. Hence, Gray. Ajanaku rips it down. 1 point game once again. 23-22. Back and forth. Wisconsin trying to push it to set point. Timeout taken. We're going to take our last timeout here of the second set. I'm Jimmy Garcia. Thanks for listening, and we'll be right back with the rest of the second set.
Hi, I'm Roberto Arguello, sports announcer at KZSU. KZSU broadcasts around 200 games a year on 90.1 FM and online at kzsu.stanford.edu. And we need your help. You can join KZSU Sports as a volunteer, and you could have the opportunity to cover your favorite sports. You'll be courtside with us or right in the heart of the stadium. Channel your inner Brent Musburger or Bob Costas and call all the action as you see. Or you could join our infamous Sports Zoo program and do some sports talk like Jim Rome. We've got lots of opportunities for you to help out. Just send us an email to sports@kzsu.stanford.edu. That's sports@kzsu.stanford.edu. Or phone us at 650-723-9010. And keep on listening to KZSU Sports.
Back to action here at the Fieldhouse, home of the Wisconsin Badgers, the number 3 seed in the country. As they are up 1-0 and 23-22, the Cardinal have stormed back a bit, trying to even up this second set at 23-all. Jenna Gray back to serve. Fans here at the Fieldhouse standing. Greg puts a good one down here. Carlini goes a long way. Nelson on the outside, blocked down. It goes out of bounds though. Wisconsin's at set point here in the second. Stanford just trying to extend this set, trying to force extra points. They were up 15-11 before Haley Nelson took over from the service line. Carlini back to serve. McKenna, Gray, up the middle, the Cardinal go! And they get the kill, 24-23. As Ajanaku and Lutz combine, Vonyak comes in. Plummer back to serve. Stanford needs to get a block or an ace here to keep this set alive. Tyler Taylor, the serving and strength and conditioning coach, telling Plummer where to serve it from. Far left corner, Bates struggles. Carlini, Nelson, blocked out. We're going to extra points as Vonyak and Ajanaku combine. Tied up at 24, you gotta win by 2. Anything's possible. The bench from the Cardinal is electric. Fans here on their feet. Plummer back to serve. Gets a good one down here, Bates. Carlini, up the middle goes Krishkova, Hentz able to dig. Gray's gonna set it for Vonyak, hitting around the block. And they're gonna call a 4-hit as it went into the net. Set point for the Badgers. Trying to fight it off at all costs. (25-24) can Stanford keep it going? Dodd back into serve. Plummer struggles. Hentz is going to have to set it on the outside for Vonyak. Roll shot tipped over. Wisconsin wins the second set, 26-24. Stanford struggles to finish out the set, and are going to go into the break down 2-0. It's an uphill climb. They haven't been swept this season, but the Badgers are rolling right now on offense. We're going to send it back to the station for a few announcements while we take a break here at the Fieldhouse. We want to thank everybody for listening, and we'll be back after a few short messages. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back.